As if French wasn't hard enough to understand for English speakers like you and I, there are a few expressions in everyday language that on the surface seem to say one thing, but in reality mean the complete opposite. But rather than let them get us down, we're going to lay them out and learn them one by one so that you can move on to the next challenge the language presents you with. Du coup, si vous êtes prêts, allez, c'est parti. Salut tout le monde, welcome back to French in Plain Sight. Moi, c'est Alex. I'm English, but I'm here to help you speak French with confidence. Alors, our first backwards expression is pas terrible or c'est pas terrible. The exact meaning of this one is very context specific. It doesn't mean it's terrible, but it's far from a compliment. This expression causes a lot of discussion amongst natives who try to help English speakers understand. What is clear though is that it really isn't a compliment. If I ask you, alors, elle est comment ta soupe? And you aren't happy with it, you can say, pas terrible, or elle est pas terrible. And this expresses that the soup isn't anything to write home about. It's nothing special. You aren't happy with it, basically, and you're not hiding that fact. I expect the natives in our community will have some things to say about this down in the comments, so check that out after. But that's our first expression. Pas terrible means it's bad, but not necessarily it's terrible. Funny one, huh? Our second expression is used on a daily basis. It's an informal one and means don't worry. But guess what? When you tell someone not to worry, you actually literally say worry. It's t'inquiète, and I find this trop marrant. Do note that you would only say this with someone that you refer to with tu and not vous. The vous form doesn't get the same treatment. In case you don't see how this means worry, let's back up a little. The verb to worry is a reflexive one. It's s'inquiéter. S'inquiéter. If you say you worry or you are worrying, you're going to say tu t'inquiètes. Tu t'inquiètes. If you say don't worry, and you can definitely say this form as well, by the way, you use the imperative mood, which is what we use when we give a command, and we say ne t'inquiète pas. Ne t'inquiète pas. The subject disappears, like in English, but the reflexive pronoun remains. Ne t'inquiète pas. So tu ne t'inquiète pas is you are not worrying or you don't worry. If I want to say don't worry, I say ne t'inquiète pas. And over time, it's this form that has twice been reduced down. First, by dropping the ne to become t'inquiète pas. T'inquiète pas. In spoken French, the ne is dropped all the time. Je mange pas, il vient pas. But then, bizarrely, the pas was dropped too. Now, I'll reiterate that this is very informal. You should still say ne t'inquiète pas or t'inquiète pas if it's someone you're on informal terms enough with to use tu, but they perhaps aren't yet your friend. But t'inquiète on its own, t'inquiète is so extremely common for exchanges with friends and family. But it's weird because literally it is an affirmative sentence. It's saying worry, but it's used to mean don't worry. T'inquiète. Next up is tu m'étonnes. Tu m'étonnes. You may or may not be familiar with the verb étonner, but literally it means to surprise. Tu m'étonnes is actually used when someone tells you something that is so evident, so obvious, that hearing it doesn't actually surprise you at all. La vue du sommet du Mont Blanc est à couper le souffle. Tu m'étonnes. It can be quite sarcastic, but I tend to hear it said in a tone that's simply a bit teasing or even just to share in the emotion of the story, like, wow, that's amazing. Aller à la salle de sport tous les matins, c'est épuisant. Tu m'étonnes. It's like, depending on the context, the person or the tone, it could mean duh, moron, or more like, yeah, I bet. Not surprising. So you're joining in with the sentiment of the person saying the sentence. A bonus expression for those of you who stuck with me this far is tout à l'heure. Tout à l'heure. You might know that see you later is à tout à l'heure. Well, the tout à l'heure part can obviously mean later, but it can also mean earlier. J'ai un rendez-vous tout à l'heure. I have an appointment later on, but j'ai eu un rendez-vous tout à l'heure means I had a meeting earlier on, or I had an appointment earlier on. Super annoying or super efficient? I'll let you be the judge, but the second one is better for your health, I assure you. So let's do a recap of the expressions that we've learned in today's video. First of all, we had c'est pas terrible or pas terrible, to say something isn't great, isn't anything to write home about, it's really not a compliment. Numéro 2, we had t'inquiète, which means don't worry, but it's funny because it should actually be ne t'inquiète pas. T'inquiète. Numéro 3 is tu m'étonnes. Tu m'étonnes. Literally, you surprise me, but actually, I'm not surprised at all. Et numéro 4, our bonus one for those of you who stuck around to the end, tout à l'heure. Tout à l'heure can mean later, but it can also mean earlier. Very context dependent. If you didn't find this video pas terrible, please do give me a thumbs up down below. It helps me know what kinds of videos you like to see most of all. But do leave a comment if you have clear suggestions for topics and I'll add them to my list. For now though, that's all from me. See you in the next video, and don't forget you can sign up to my free newsletter where I share exclusive French lessons and content every week on a Thursday. A link to that is down in the description. Or you can check out another video which is somewhere on screen right now. Either way, ciao ciao French learner.